here with another ship's roster review. Today I am looking at Mr. Universe's ships. So, the first thing I will do is go and take a look at Mr. Universe's capital ships. And one thing I'm seeing here is that you have excellently put a lot of work into the Chimera. The only things you're really missing here is the last level of each ability and the 7th star. So for the 7th star, that's probably the most important thing to be worried about next getting on the Chimera. You're going to want to finish 7-starring the home one, which you're probably working on, and you probably just need to get the event to come enough for you to get enough shards for the home one to get 7-star. And then you need 5 7-star rebel ships, 2 of which have to include the Phoenix ships, which you have both of the Phoenix ships 7-star. And then you have Biggs and Wedge 7-star and Biston Ewing 7-star, along with Cassian Ewing. So you are 100% to go, hopefully, on getting Chimera once you get your home one 7-star. So let's go and take a look at Chimera's abilities because it is the capital ship I think you should currently be using. And let's give you the suggested order for how to upgrade these. So, the last thing you want to upgrade on a capital ship is the basic, because with ships 2.0 and the need to basically always be bringing out reinforcements, you are rarely going to use the basic, which means it's nearly worthless. It's useful to have in case you happen to ever make the decision to use the basic, but normally you will not be using the basic. The most useful thing on a ship, however, is going to be the unique ability, or basically leadership ability, for the capital ship. And in this case, it's Fierce Loyalty. And Fierce Loyalty, if you max it out, will give you 5% more critical damage and 5% tenacity. The 5% critical damage is probably the biggest part, as that will also double for Empire allies, being an extra 10% for Empire allies like TIE Advanced. On top of that, the next two ones you would want to work on is either Artist of War or Phylon Beam. I would really choose this on which one you find yourself using more often. They're both super useful to have maxed out. Art of War gives you a heal, and Phylon Beam deals AoE damage to the other side and removes turn meter. So they're both great to have up. And the very last one you want to max out is going to be the second to last one you want to max out will be the ultimate, just because hopefully you've won the battle by the time the ultimate comes around. And having the ultimate maxed out just essentially secures the battle for you a little bit more. But at the same time, at that point, you should pretty much have the battle under wings and withdrawn. Really, what you're wanting with that ultimate is not necessarily AoE damage off of it, but the one ship you completely destroy is probably the most important thing that comes out of his AoE, comes out of his ultimate. But the most important one for you will be Fierce Loyalty, as that's going to do the most overall by giving your other ships increases in damage. So, let's move on to the other ships you should probably be using right now. So for your fleet arena, one of your starting ships should include the following. Number one, it should include TIE Advanced. TIE Advanced, based off of what you have, is going to be an excellent starting ship. You'll eventually, for future fleets, probably want to use on reinforcements. But for your current assessment of ships, it will be best fit on your starting lineup. And it does a ton of damage on its basic. It has a potential dispel ability. It's just a fantastic ship all around. The next thing you want to have is a tank. And you have two options here for a tank. You have Biggs, Darklighters, X-Wing, and Houndstooth. However, I would stay away from Houndstooth until you have Boss 7-star, Gear 12, and maybe get the ship at least till 5-star, because Houndstooth is a lot more vulnerable at lower star counts. It's probably better to start off with Biggs right now, although it would probably be useful to still have Houndstooth as a reinforcement, if you decide to go that route, because having a tank as a reinforcement can be super annoying. And then you have an option for your third ship as well. You have two options here, Ghost or TIE Fighter. Imperial TIE Fighter gets the benefits off of Chimera's fierce loyalty by getting increased damage. On top of that, it will hopefully be giving more turn meter through dodges to your capital ship, which gives you the advantage of getting to the ultimate sooner, hopefully winning you the battle faster. However, on the other side here, you have Ghosts, which Ghosts can be used to stealth your TIE Advance, which having your TIE Advance stay alive longer is very important, as the TIE Advance does massive amounts of damage. However, you might want to gear up Hera, Kanan, and Zeb a little bit more before you start using the Ghost more widely. But that is a potential route. So I would probably lean towards Imperial TIE Fighter at the moment. But you can try out Ghost if you find that TIE Advance is dying way too quickly in battle for you. So now we need to move on to your reinforcements. What's going to be useful here? Well, the number one reinforcement in the game, in my opinion, especially since I've started using it, is Phantom 2. And let's go take a look at what's important about Phantom 2. And you already have one of the important things of Phantom 2 maxed out, which is Covert Strike right here. Its reinforcement ability, which decreases the reinforcement cooldown of your capital ship and allows Phantom 2 to come in with buffs. Excellent that you have this maxed out, and it means you probably should already be using Phantom as a reinforcement in the game. The other thing you need to work on with Phantom 2 majorly is maxing out maximum impact here. Get Ezra up to gear 11 so you can max this ability out. This is a fantastic ability. The more damage you get with it, the better. It can do up to 100k in damage potentially if you have this ship maxed out, which means you want to have that potential to do massive amounts of damage by bringing this one ship in. Another thing you want to do is probably also gear up Sabine and Chopper alongside Ezra. So overall, you could just do a faction focus on Phoenix to get their ships up so that you can use them. Now let's take a look at your other reinforcements here. I suggested if you don't go with Houndstooth as a starter ship, or if you don't go with Biggs as a starter ship, they should be a reinforcement, because it's super helpful to have another tank as reinforcement just to annoy the enemy and soak up damage when the other tank dies. Another great one that it looks like you have up, and you do, is Slave 1 here. Slave 1 is an excellent ship, and you probably should be using it as a reinforcement based off of how maxed it is, and it probably just proves really useful for you right now in the game. And the fourth one I'm looking at telling you to use right now is Scimitar. The reason for this, especially if you go with Imperial TIE Fighter, is it can put a false taunt on Imperial TIE Fighter in order to cause Imperial TIE Fighter to hopefully dodge more and give some turn meter to your capital ship a little quicker. However, that's the main reason for Scimitar. You can use him alongside other ships, and he is a decent ship. But you probably want to invest in another ship that makes it even better. Fourth reinforcement, and I'm seeing one down here that looks like you have it pretty high up already. You just need to get the 7th star, and that's TIE Reaper. TIE Reaper to me makes a really good reinforcement because it brings in a dispel option, which is super useful to have against things like Slave 1 that come in with a bunch of buffs and are just super annoying. So having a dispel like TIE Reaper or Cassian G-Wing down here, though, the only reason I'm not suggesting that is the characters are a little less useful compared to Death Trooper and Shore Trooper. But you already have it 7 stars, so if you want to put the work into those characters, feel free. Also, another option, just because you have it up right now, is Wedge. But he's a little bit weaker. He'd just be there more for bringing in as an attacker to deal damage. But I think Scimitar or TIE Reaper would probably be your best bets as a 4th reinforcement. So Now, getting off what you should use as your current fleet, we should probably take a look at what's a good future for you in fleets. And going off that you look like you're working on the Houndstooth, there's two options alongside the Houndstooth right now. You could do a Geos fleet, however, your Geos aren't up, or you could do a Bounty Hunter fleet, but the one Bounty Hunter that works alongside him also isn't up. So what I think you need to do here is make a decision on where you want to go. You need to finish up Houndstooth, no matter what. 7-star boss, 7-star Houndstooth. I think it has easily become the best tank in the game since it's been released, and it's super annoying to contend with. And it's kind of like Enfys Nest for ships. But Geos are an extremely strategic team that have lots of synergy with each other. However, they're slowly falling out of the meta. They're like the number 2 fleet enemy in the meta right now when paired alongside Houndstooth compared to Bounty Hunters. So what's your other option here? Well, gear up Cad Bane here. Cad Bane's a Bounty Hunter. If you don't have Chewie yet, he'll prove super useful for getting that event. And he may not be the best Bounty Hunter, but at least he's had a rework recently. And he's not too bad to gear 11. And then Xanadu Blood just became free to play. Compared to Cad Bane, Xanadu Blood is an excellent ship. I don't know much about it, but Xanadu Blood is current meta for ships when paired alongside the Executrix, Houndstooth, Ghost, and Executrix, Houndstooth, and Ghost. When paired alongside those, it is meta, or Anakin's ETA. So I would personally say probably go for 7-starring Xanadu Blood, and gearing up Cad Bane would probably be the maybe not the fastest route, depending on how fast you can 7-star Xanadu Blood compared to gearing up Geos, but it's certainly a more focused path that requires you to put work into less characters. And just let me throw out some other things for you to do. I think you need to invest in the Executrix. It's the second best capital ship in the game, and you'll eventually, for other meta fleets, you may want to make the switch over to Executrix. So max out Victory at all costs, then max out either Executive or Heavy Ion Cannon, and then Imperial Assault and Turbo Laser batteries last. Kind of like with Thrawn, you max out its leadership and then you max out the others last. Home one, once you get a 7-star Chimera, you shouldn't have to worry about for a little while. And Endurance, just continue leaving it where it is until you get the other capital ships maxed out. I've just started working on putting stuff into Endurance abilities because I've finally maxed out the other capital ships abilities. Apart from, I think, is the basic on home one because I haven't geared up Akbar past gear 10. But I think overall you're doing decent in ships right now. Just probably put some more work into gearing characters and putting Zetas on characters if you have to for ships to get that little extra speed bump off of them. Like if you with ships, here's the thing with a Zeta. Only do the Zeta for a comparable advantage. So if you notice that everyone else in your fleet has those Zetas, then you're going to need those Zetas. If you notice, however, that other people don't have it, the Zeta more becomes a thing of giving you a slight advantage over other people and ships. If you want that slight advantage, put the Zeta on them, but then that means other people will be encouraged to start putting the Zetas on them too. But eventually people will do it. So, however, you probably aren't at the point yet to necessarily focus on actually putting Zetas on characters for ships. If you have any further questions to me, just reach out. As a quick review, I think for your current fleet, you should use Chimera alongside TIE Advance, probably Biggs and TIE Fighter. Ghost and Houndstooth are two other options to throw in there. And then as reinforcements, you should be using Phantom 2, Slave 1, Second Tank, and either Scimitar or TIE Reaper. Um, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. But this is David 4040 signing out. Bye.